Okay guys, so the big D23 expo that is going on right now just had their giant Marvel presentation, and in it we actually got to see Kevin Feige walk on stage, and he says every Marvel superhero would be in Avengers Infinity War, and then one by one every single one from Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man to Doctor Strange to Black Panther and Spider-Man all came out on stage. But then after that, they were joined by the Guardians of the Galaxy, Hulk and Thor, and then they went on to present the trailer for Avengers Infinity War. So first off, some of the details we're getting are the fact that everything seems to be very bright, like golden space battles. It's very vivid, almost like what we've seen in Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor Ragnarok. Now, not only that, while they're on Earth, we get to see, Earth in like ruins and bunch of dark color palettes and everything, pretty much ranging from the darkest you can imagine to the brightest you can imagine, all in one film. So with that in mind, let me get into the full description of the trailer. So we start off at Avengers Tower, which comes into frame, and then we get clips of the Avengers, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Age of Ultron, pretty much recapping everything, catching us up to where we're at, Thor the Dark World, Iron Man 2 and 3, everything we've seen so far. And then it cuts to Mantis, who says, "We have arrived to the Guardians of the Galaxy." We then see a teenage Groot in a seat. The body of Thor lands on the windshield, and his hair is short. Rocket is startled by this, and Mantis ends up waking him up. Thor is then startled by what he's looking at. The Guardians then, while they're staring at him, he looks at them and asks them who they are. Then the ship is kind of just zipping through space and everything. We see Wanda Maximoff, who is of course the Scarlet Witch, dodging something as it breaks a truck. Loki stands in a bunch of ruins, presenting the Tesseract to someone that we don't exactly see. Peter Parker's Spider Sense takes off as he's riding on a bus. Peter prepares for battle. He's actually in space with the Guardians. And then Thanos says, "Fun really isn't something one considers when balancing the universe." And then he says, "This does put a smile on my face." The Guardians observe a bunch of ruins in a bunch of places that we aren't exactly sure what they are as of right now. Thanos warps into a new world. We see Star-Lord battling him, Doctor Strange then battles him, then we see Spider-Man in his new suit battling alongside of him. Winter Soldier battling, Wakanda readies to defend their territory, Captain America steps out of the shadows and he has a full-on big beard. We see the Hulkbuster, which is also being used in action. Then we go over to Wakanda, where we see they're fighting some sort of four-legged creatures from Infinity. Thor's head is being squeezed by Thanos as Thanos is beating Iron Man almost to death. The Guardians are then defeated. Thanos has assembled his gauntlet. He then reaches for the sky, where there is a giant hole, pulling down an entire planet and getting ready to throw it at the Avengers. Honestly, this sounds like the greatest thing I have ever read. I don't even understand what is even happening from reading this, and I read it like 4 times. It sounds like absolute comic insanity and perfection, guys. Let me know your thoughts.